When did you stop being the family sacrifice? My brother's engagement toast was 3 minutes in when I heard my own business idea come out of his mouth. He stood at the head of the table, champagne raised, telling 60 guests how his new tech startup was going to revolutionize the industry. I recognized every word because I'd written them in an email to him 8 months ago. An email where I pitched him the concept, the strategy, the revenue model. An email he never responded to. My fiancée grabbed my wrist under the table. Her grip said, "Don't," but I was already reaching for my phone. For 9 years, I had been the foundation this family stood on. When our parents needed a new roof, I paid for it. When Dad's medical bills hit after his stroke, I covered them. When my brother wanted to go to business school but couldn't afford tuition, I emptied my savings account and told him to pay me back when he could. He never did. Instead, he graduated, got a 6-figure job, and started calling me his silent partner in life as a joke at family dinners. Everyone laughed. I smiled and passed the potatoes. That was the pattern. I gave, they took, and somehow I was supposed to feel grateful they let me sit at the table. The engagement party was at a restaurant that cost more per plate than I made in a day. My brother had flown in friends from 3 states. His fiancée's family occupied 2 tables. When my parents arrived, they hugged him for a full minute. They nodded at me and asked if I could help the caterers carry in the extra chairs. I carried 14 chairs. Then I sat in the back corner where nobody introduced me to anyone. My brother didn't mention my name once during the cocktail hour. When someone asked who I was, his fiancée said, "Oh, that's just Kevin's brother. He works in IT or something." I worked in IT. I also held 3 patents and had been offered a director position I turned down because my parents needed someone close by after Dad's stroke. The toast changed everything. My brother started talking about his vision for a supply chain software platform. He described the exact algorithm I'd spent 2 years developing in my garage. He explained the exact customer acquisition strategy I'd mapped out on a whiteboard and photographed to send him. He was pitching my company to a room full of investors disguised as wedding guests. I pulled up the email thread on my phone, time-stamped 8 months ago. Every detail matched. I scrolled to the bottom where he'd finally replied 3 weeks later with a single line. Interesting, but not really my thing. Good luck, though. He'd stolen it anyway. I stood up. My chair scraped so loud the room went quiet. My mother shot me a look that said, "Sit down and behave." I walked to the front of the room instead. My brother's smile flickered. "Everything okay, man?" I held up my phone. "You want to tell them who really built this company?" His jaw tightened. "I don't know what you're talking about." I turned the screen toward the crowd and read the email out loud. Every word. The pitch, the projections, the technology. Then I read his response, dismissing it. Then I showed them the date. A woman at the investor table leaned forward. "Wait, that's the exact same presentation he sent us last month." My brother's face went white. His fiancée stood up. "What is happening right now?" I looked at her. "Your future husband stole my life's work and tried to sell it to fund your wedding." The room erupted. My father struggled to his feet, shouting at me to stop making a scene. My mother was crying. My brother grabbed my arm and tried to pull me toward the door. "You're embarrassing yourself," he hissed. I yanked free. "No, you've been embarrassing me for 9 years. I paid for your degree. I paid for Mom and Dad's house. I gave up a promotion so someone would be here when Dad couldn't walk." I turned to my parents. "Have you ever once asked how I'm doing? Have you ever once said thank you?" My mother looked at the floor. My father looked at my brother. That told me everything. I walked out, didn't say goodbye, didn't look back. My fiancée met me at the car with her purse already over her shoulder. She didn't ask if I was okay. She just said, "I've been waiting 3 years for you to do that." We drove home in silence. My phone buzzed 40 times. I didn't check it. The next morning, I forwarded the email thread and all my documentation to the investor who'd spoken up. She called me 2 hours later. My brother's funding fell through. His startup collapsed before it launched. The investor offered me a meeting instead. I took it. 8 months later, I closed a seed round for the company I built. My parents haven't spoken to me since the party. My brother sent one text, "You ruined everything." I didn't respond. Some sacrifices aren't worth making twice.